As Christians, we're a people that seek to forgive. What advice would you have for someone that's in an unhealthy relationship at work where they're able to forgive a person, but they feel that they need to have boundaries and not be around someone that's causing them issues?
I don't think I could say it much better than you just did. I think one of the interesting things I think that we struggle with in our Christian terminology is we know we're supposed to forgive people, and we then confuse that with meaning and then letting them do whatever they choose to do, right? Or there's no consequences to what. Well, I said I'd forgive you, so there can be no consequences. So, I have an employee who's stealing. Well, I forgive you. Well, he steals again. Well, I forgive you. Well, the Bible requires that I forgive you. Therefore, I can't do anything about, your misbehavior. Well, no, that's not accurate. There's a distinction between forgiveness and pardon, right? So when I forgive somebody, it's actually the Greek word, I'm for grace in the life of that person, right? I'm wanting the best for them. I'm wanting spiritual good for that person. But it's not actually spiritually good for that person that there'd be no consequences to their wrongdoing. It's not only not good for that person, it's not good for the company, it's not good for the community. So it's to do the extreme examples, the mom who says to the murderer of her child, I forgive you, may still insist that the man go to prison and be perfectly consistent with our Christian understanding. I'm for grace in your life. I want you to know that I do not hold this against you eternally. I want you to be humbled by my desire for God's mercy for you. But that does not mean that there should be no consequences for your actions. That would actually not be for grace for you, for there to be no consequences for your actions, nor for this community, for murderers just to run free. So we recognize when we're dealing with other people that as a boss, as somebody who just maybe works beside somebody else, I'm always obligated to forgive someone. Vengeance is not mine. Malice toward others is not mine. I do not desire their spiritual harm. I'm never allowed that as a believer. But justice may require that we get some distance from a person who's doing wrong. Safekeeping may require we get distance from somebody who's doing wrong. Justice may require that I report that person and their wrongdoing to the boss. It may require that the boss himself be reported to the authorities for wrong conduct toward employees. But these are not inconsistent with our understanding of the grace of God or the forgiveness we give people. We are always for grace, for their spiritual good. No malice, not vengeance, but consequence that achieve God's purpose in the life of that person, I actually desire and have the biblical right to insist upon.
Yeah.